If you guys want to know how you can unlock more schematics in the tier 3 zone, like getting the refined Ethereum crystal here, make sure you watch until the end of the video so I can show you the best way to get these schematics. What is going on, guys? T-Tizzle here, bringing you another YouTube video. In today's video, I will show you the best strategy to unlock the RAYGUN, Tombstone, Refined Ethereum, or Double Pack-a-Punch Crystal, Elemental Pop, and Epic Ether Tool schematics so that you will be able to craft these perks and Pack-a-Punch Crystals every time in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. If you guys find this video useful, let me know by liking the video, dropping a comment down below, and hitting that subscribe button. We are currently on the road to 1,300 subscribers, and it would mean the world to me if you guys would subscribe. And with that, let's go ahead and hop right into the tutorial. So the very first thing we're going to want to do is go over our loadout. For your primary weapon, it really is not important unless you have an epic or legendary ether tool to use. If you guys do not have an epic or legendary ether tool, we're definitely going to want to pick up a gun off the wall in the tier 3 zone, which I'll show you guys how to do in the video. But if you do have an epic or legendary ether tool, make sure you throw on whatever your favorite gun is. For me, that is the TYR, and this is the loadout I'm going to be using on this if you guys want to copy that. From there, you want to put on the decoy grenade for your tactical just because it is the best tactical in the game. It acts like a monkey bomb. The lethal, I've really been enjoying the throwing knife. It's very useful in tier 3 when them pesky dogs are chasing you. You can just turn around and throwing knife them. If you are playing solo, I definitely recommend throwing on Ether Shroud. It is the best field upgrade when solo. But if you're playing with a team, I'd probably use Healing Aura. And then, like I said, I'm going to be using the Epic Ether tool on my TYR. I'm going to use a Refined Ethereum Crystal on my TYR to double Pack-a-Punch it. I'm going to use Shatter Blast because, to me, it is the best ammo mod in the game. And then the perks I recommend bringing in are Deadshot Daiquiri, Juggernog, PhD, Speed Cola, and Salmon Up. But if you guys don't have these things readily available to bring into the game with you, that is okay. I will show you the best strategy to get these items before going to tier 3. Alright, so let's hop right into this one. So the very first thing you guys are going to want to do is if you came into the game with anything, just go ahead and use all of that right now. If you came in with all the items that I came in with, you guys are going to be good to go ahead and go to the tier 3 zone. But let's say you guys didn't come in with anything and you have absolutely nothing. You need to get all your perks. You need to get a decent gun. You need to get a Pack-a-Punch. Then the very first thing that you are going to want to do is just pull up your minimap and then go to the nearest vehicle. From here, you're just going to want to spam tier 1 and tier 2 contracts to build up your essence as quick as you can, because we all know we have a limited time window inside of this game, so everything needs to be done as quick as possible. So you need to get up to about 10,000 essence in order to get all of the perks, and then another 5,000 essence to buy a decent gun. So I'm going to go ahead and show you where you're going to find a decent gun and what gun you are going to be looking for. So before we purchase our gun, I'm going to go ahead and do a deliver cargo contract just because I believe it is by far the easiest contract to do in the game, and it's really not even close. You don't have to shoot your gun, so you can go ahead and go to tier 2 and do a bunch of deliver cargo contracts back to back before you even have any perks or decent guns to make things extremely easy for you. And not only that, it's super easy to do. It's going to be very helpful because it's going to give you one of the best vehicles in the game, which is going to be pretty helpful. So if you guys came into the game, you didn't have a ton of essence, you didn't have the perks or a gun, I would just do a bunch of deliver cargo contracts back to back in the tier 2 zone to build that essence up. Get up to your 10,000 essence for the perks and then another 5,000 essence to buy your gun. So the very next thing we're going to need to do, and this is going to be for the people that did not come into the game with a decent gun, you're going to get to your 5,000 essence and you're just going to pull up on the minimap and you're going to go to a wall buy that is in the tier 3 zone. So it doesn't really matter what wall buy you go to, it's going to be randomized every single game, so the gun I find at my specific location won't be the gun you find at yours, and what you are looking for is going to be an AR or an LMG that is gold level rarity. And it's because the rarity in this game is a lot more important than people realize. A gold level rarity Pack-a-Punch once is going to be more powerful than a triple Pack-a-Punch common weapon, so you definitely want to get a gold gun. So just like that, the very first one I marked, it's going to be the DG58 LSW, that is gold. You guys would want to buy that if you did not come into the game with a decent gun. But since I came into the game with the TYR and it's already purple rarity, I do not need that, so I'm not going to pick it up. And then once you guys buy that gun, if you do not have enough money to Pack-a-Punch or don't have your perks, you're probably just going to want to get out of the tier 3 zone and then go do a few more tier 1 and tier 2 contracts to build up your essence to get the recommended perks and to get your gun to at least Pack-a-Punch 2. And then from here, in order to get the schematics, all you guys are going to need to do is just a bunch of tier 3 contracts. I'm going to show you the ones that I recommend doing that are the easiest to me inside of this game. And the first one that we're going to do is going to be the Spore control contract, just because it was on the map for us. None of the easier ones were there yet. And I'll show you guys what it looks like and kind of what I do here. You really do not need to have or shoot your gun at any zombies if you do this properly. Just because you can just kind of train them up and then just run around the zombies as much as you can and avoid them the best you can. So, right here, I didn't even hear this dog coming up on me. We'll get him off of us, and then we'll stow all these inhibitors really quick, and then we're just going to run around and throw the inhibitors on these little egg-type deals real quick. So, and then unless you guys want to, you really do not need to fight these zombies. I'm honestly just going to do my best to get away from them and not shoot unless I have to, just because zombies, whenever you do the Spore control contract, if you've played this game a lot, you know they are going to spawn a ton. And if you don't need to fight them, I'm just not going to. I don't need to get any kills or anything. All we're trying to do is get these contracts done as quick as we can so that we can get the schematics that you guys are looking for. See, I already have all of the tier 3 schematics, so there's nothing that I can get that I don't already have. But the overall goal that we're going here is to just get as many contracts as we can done in the limited window we have, which will give us the best possible chance to get a schematic. So just like that, I went through and I threw all the inhibitors down on every single one, and all I'm doing is turning around whenever I hear a dog chasing me, because those guys can be pretty annoying to deal with. But other than that, I'm just ignoring every single zombie in the game right now. We're going to go through, we're going to shoot all these little egg-type deals that we went and ran. We're going to do the exact same route that we already did and just keep on moving. So we got a big group of zombies, and I'm not going to allow them to get me flustered or anything, because I know that once I finish the Spore control contract, they're going to stop spawning. Except for the dogs. I will turn around and take those out just because they are quicker than me, and they can be a little bit annoying to deal with. And it would help if I'd hit my shot right there, too. So even then, we're going to keep moving. Try to get rid of the dogs that are behind us, and just not stop moving at this at all. So this isn't the easiest contract to do by far. For that, I'll show you guys what it is, but like this one isn't that hard to do either. You see, I really haven't struggled too much. I mean, it's got a little dicey with these fast sprinters chasing me, but I really have just avoided them the best that I can. And just like that, the Spore control has been completed, and then we are going to try to train all these zombies up, and this is where it does become a problem. They are going to continue to chase you. They're not going to despawn once it's finished. But if you guys could just kind of keep moving like I am here, get them chasing you, and then get to like a high ground type area. Like I know there's a zip line on this wall over here. So I'm going to take this zip line, and then I'm going to go back to where the reward is, and I'm just going to hit the reward, look what's in it, put everything in my backpack, and just get out of the area. And then another thing, you can see there are still a bunch of zombies here. Let's just go ahead. We'll throw a decoy grenade on the ground, get them away from us. Look what's in there, and didn't really get too much, but I'll go ahead and stow these items, and then we'll just get out of the area. There's no reason to stay here. So I'll go ahead and I'll pick up the next contract that I feel is the easiest to do and show you what that looks like. So this is going to be the only part of the video where it really isn't a live commentary. For whatever reason, I lost my audio here. It wasn't picking up my mic, but I'll go ahead and walk you guys through what I was saying here. One of the other easy contracts to do is definitely going to be the raid weapon stash, and the primary reason is because you have a rather big area where all you have to do is just kind of maneuver around and run around without going down. It is going to spawn a ton of zombies like you guys are seeing there, but if you just don't stop moving around the area, making sure you're taking high ground, going up the ladders, and just jumping around and never stop moving, this contract is not that difficult to complete. You will have the one-off scenarios where a zombie is going to be where you're not expecting them to be, and they'll catch you off guard and they can down you that way, but it is pretty rare for that to happen. And if you have decoy grenades or you have your ether shroud ready to go, it's going to make it pretty easy to do. So all you're seeing me do here is I'm just trying to showcase that you don't have to shoot your weapon, and boom, right there. That's a scenario where I don't know why that zombie is there. So he's just in one of those random one-off scenarios, but I just ran around him and just kept moving. I'm kind of following the exact same path and staying away from these zombies and avoiding them the best that I can. So you guys can kind of see here that even in like a dicey scenario, all you got to do is just kind of reposition, put yourself in a better type area, and then get back to where the contract is. I am slowly going to be losing some percentage there, but it doesn't go down that fast, so it's not like it's that big of a deal when you have to reposition like that. But due to the fact that you really don't have to shoot your weapon and you can just use your movement and mobility around to complete this contract, it's not that hard to do in the tier 3 zone. Plus, I released a video about a week and a half ago now showcasing what the 5 best contracts are to do in order to unlock schematics, where I did a ton of testing to figure out which contracts gave me the best schematic drop rate, and I figured out that the raid weapon stash is one of the better ones. So I definitely recommend doing this contract in the tier 3 zone. And just like that, we just finished the raid weapon stash. We throw a decoy grenade on the ground, and boom, just like that, we have the refined Aetherium diagram, which is exactly what we're looking for. This is one of the better contracts, and it's not too hard to do, so we'll go ahead and pick up the next contract and showcase why it is one of the easier ones. So the next easiest contract by far is going to be the supply run contract. This is going to be the easiest to do in the tier 3 area because you really don't even have to shoot your gun if you do not want to. All you're going to have to do is deliver a cargo contract to a specific extraction point, and it's extremely easy to do in the tier 3 zone. So we're going to go ahead and pick this up. We're going to try to get the zombies out of the way the best we can, open up this garage door, and then we're going to do another loop like you see me do right there. That's one of the easiest ways to get the cargo vehicle out of the garage, is follow this exact loop. I have no idea how they just hit me there. That's actually crazy. So they're going to chase me up top here, and then we can just drop down, get the vehicle, and then get out of the area. We almost went down there. That got a little dicey. And then this is the exact path that I like to follow for doing this. If you guys have seen my raygun schematic video, you know exactly what we're doing here. I've did this contract easily 200, 300 times to just sit here and farm tier 3 contracts. The only issue is that it doesn't have the best schematic drop rate, but it's hard to complain with doing this contract just because of how easy it is to complete, no matter what the drop rate is. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to drive it over here to the extraction point. We're to see what we can get here. We already have one of the schematics that we could get in the tier 3 zone, so there's nothing to complain about right now. But you never know, we could always get the ray gun schematic or something even better. So see, gave us another self-revive, and we'll take that. Some armor plates, and then after you hit the reward, just get out of the area and then move on to your guys' next contract. So the next contract that I'm going to recommend doing is going to be the Outlast contract. This is going to be virtually identical to the raid weapon stash. We're just going to need to stay in this area, and then as long as you just stay moving, you really shouldn't have any issues surviving when doing this. You got to basically stay in this small little confined building here, and I may shoot my gun a little bit here whenever there's not a bunch of zombies, just because it's not that hard to do to defend this area. And if I can keep some zombies away from me to make my life a little easier, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then something else that I want to go ahead and tell you guys that you're going to see me do after this is at any point in the game, if you can upgrade your gameplay by like getting to Pack-a-Punch 3 or getting another perk or something along those lines, don't be afraid to take breaks and do that to make this as enjoyable as possible. You don't want this to be a real negative experience whenever you're going for all these schematics, because it can be frustrating when the RNG is not working in your favor, and the last thing you want to do is just be mad whenever you guys are playing a game. So we're just going to continue to do this here. You can see this specific location is definitely a lot easier to do than where we were in that like middle city area. It seems like that middle city area is one of the hardest places to survive in. We're already at 75%, and we're kind of just jumping around, going everywhere in the area. We'll do our best to avoid that disciple, because he can absolutely ruin our day. I know that there is a zip line here, so I'm just going to hop out the window, get back in this area, get back up top, kind of have a little bit of a better reposition here, and we should be able to complete this here fairly quickly. And like I've been saying, guys, I did have a video where I went over all the top 5 contracts in the game that you can do to unlock schematics, and this Outlast contract here is definitely one of the best. So that's an interesting glitch that I've never got before. We're going to stay out of the area. Yeah, this is just stuck on my screen right now. I don't know what caused that. So we're going to run over here. I'm going to throw a decoy grenade on the ground to get the zombies away from me, and then we're going to look inside of this area. And thankfully that got off my screen right there. That one's crazy. I've never seen that before. We didn't really get anything good there, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next contract. So the very next contract is going to be the bounty contract, and just one quick tip I want to give you guys that I'm going to recommend doing is going to a tier 3 buy and just buying a Juggernaut. It's going to make your life a lot easier. So any tier 3 buy you can go to, you got to have 10,000 essence, buy yourself a Juggernaut, just because it's going to make taking down big game bounties extremely easy. And just like that, guys, we're going to throw our Juggernaut down on the ground, and we're just going to wait for it to come in, and then we're going to utilize this Juggernaut to take out all the zombies around us, and then take out the Mega Abomination as well. So obviously the main goal, we want to take out this big game bounty, so we want to prioritize shooting him, But if it makes our life easier to also shoot the other zombies in the area, we're going to want to do that too. So right there, we're being swarmed. We'll take them guys out. And then back to focusing on this mega abomination. So we almost have him done. And then boom, guys. Just like that, you see how easy it is to complete this contract whenever you have a Juggernaut. That's why I absolutely recommend using this. Haven't got to check my reward yet. There was a legendary tool on the ground there, which is awesome. But let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and use my Aether Shroud. I will go ahead and stow the legendary tool and see what we got. So nothing I really want there, so I'm not going to take any of that. But that is by far one of the easier contracts to do, especially whenever you can afford a Juggernaut. You can spam those back to back, and it's going to be extremely easy to do. And that is going to do it for the video, guys. If you found this video useful or entertaining, please consider leaving a like, dropping a comment down below, and hitting that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel. And if you guys want to know what the top 5 contracts to do are to unlock rare schematics, I'll leave that video in the first link in the description below. But we definitely didn't have a bad string here. You can see right there, we got 2 legendary tools and we got the refined Aetherium crystal. And with that, I'll catch you all in the next one.